Welcome to FacingMelsMusic.com podcast, featuring some of the most heartwarming stories from musicians all around the world on FacingMelsMusic.com.
Warm welcome to Facing Mel's Music. This is Mel Golding, and I have the wonderful Tony West from BLACKLIST Union, all the way out in LA, singer-songwriter, frontman. Welcome. It's great to have you here. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much. I feel good.
Great.
Pretty good.
Good. And a real congratulations on your single, which was released. When was it released? About a week ago, was it?
Yeah, it's like in the baby stages. The Queen of Everything off the upcoming full-length record, the Letters from the Psych Ward.
Yeah, right. And it's absolutely wonderful. And we're going to come to that because the Queen of Everything feels like, it's now, and your songs, all the past stuff that you've done is very reflective of the moment in time, isn't it? And very strong lyrical content, very much about pouring your heart and soul into the music. And you know, Tony, when I look at your life, and I've looked at it not too in depth, but I have looked at it, and I look at your journey, and it is a journey. It just feels like it's been filled with lots of experiences of loss. There's been devastation, trauma, there's tragedy, death, and there's drugs and alcohol, which I guess were coping mechanisms on the back of all of that. Would you say that's kind of an accurate kind of summary of your music career?
Yeah, the first three records, especially Back to Momo, that I wrote with Todd Youth, who also fucking died in 2018, who played with Danzig and Ace Frehley, all kinds of people. But that record was it was about getting back to the rock too, there was stuff that I was processing, like Evil Eye from that record is about my mother. And then this record, Letters from the Psych Ward, it's all about healing. And I went to, the Amazon jungle in Peru with the Shipibo Indians and did ayahuasca 5 times and changed my life. So that got me on the path of plant medicine.
Which is where you are now.
Yeah.
Which is obviously where you are now. But yeah, looking at just all the song titles from before, because it's just good for my audience to get a summary and kind of a track record of where you're at. Looking at After the Morning.
Yeah.
You're quite proud of that one.
After the Morning, I was with Bianca from Betty Blowtorch. She was my girlfriend. And we went through some gnarly things that couples go through, where I wanted her to make a decision and she couldn't make that decision. So it broke us up. And then she died, shortly after, like a year later. I was still so in love with her though. And it's After the Morning Death. It's spelled MOURNING, not morning time.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what began BLACKLIST Union, was writing about so much of that. And there's a song on that record actually called Dying to Live.
Yes.
I recorded December 15th, 2005 or 6, 2005, on the 4-year anniversary for death. And I had set up with the producer where I went to the grave first and prayed, and then I beeline to the studio and did this song. So producer Johnson, who's produced all the records and wrote this Letters from the Psych Ward with me. So I do the pass of the song, and our bass player and producer, when I was done, their jaws were hanging open. I was like, did I suck? And they were like, no, dude, you nailed that shit all the way through. And I have goosebumps, because that was one of the first times, and I've only done it a few times since. Maybe 2, but where I nailed it all the way through. And for a singer, that's kind of a big deal in the studio.
Yeah, absolutely. And it must have come from a place.
When I listened to the playback, I cried. It was very. I remember Chris, who was also my sponsor in AA. Everyone knows I'm an alcoholic and drug addict. There's no anonymity with me. But Chris, who's was my sponsor and the producer of Blacklist Union. I remember he turned around, saw me crying, and he had to turn around really quick because he knew the story. I think he would have cried too. He didn't want to cry.
So many emotional moments there, and
Yeah.
like you said, I think you just said a few minutes ago about the process, and it's all about processing, isn't it? You know, and you've talked about after the mourning and then going into dying to live, which as far as I understand it, is about the moment you found peace with her.
Well, I found that moment of peace and acceptance after when I listened to the playback.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Really important that you mention it like that, right? Because it feels that that's part of your process, and it's really important. But I noticed, I mean, there's the other titles here, and I know about the drugs and the alcohol, and you know, it's obviously that was your coping mechanism. It was a coping mechanism, obviously, and we can come into that a little bit in a minute. But there's other titles here, Please Kill Me, which is tell me a little bit about that.
Self-loathing, you know,
right.
Self-loathing.
Turn the page, the chapter's closed. Another life goes up in smoke, yeah. Hit the floor in a body bag. Wishing danger won't ever last. Just rise from the inside. Someday I just smile, it's okay, it's alright, alright. It's like a new disease. You know you're killing me. Yeah, so out of sight, wound up too tight, too tight. Now I can barely breathe. You're fucking killing me. Please kill me.
You know, that's like that's a hard one, you know. Again, like I grew up in an abusive home, my parents and everything, and you know, it's the plant medicines that have got me peace and like ready, even the way I put my energy out, you know. It's like everything was always in, like I was like a wilted flower.
Yeah.
But you know, so Please Kill Me with the self-loathing, you know, was very huge for me. And you know, I had to untrain myself too as a adult, like not to be so negative, don't be a gossip, all this kind of shit that I picked up as a kid where, you know, my family of origin, they did this kind of shit. You know, they were taught in alcoholism, severe abuse, you know, so.
Okay, so it feels like I mean, obviously you're not going into that. This isn't a therapy session, you know, this is just to kind of get obviously an idea. We can go as deeply as you want to, but I'm aware of your safety and the way you feel, you know, that's really important, you know.
Like, what's that? I think I said last time, you know, my life's an open book for the whole world to read. That's a quote from Home Sweet Home, you know, Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Because it is. And, you know, the thing is, I hope that I can help somebody.
That's what I love about you. And we're going to come on to some of your blogs and stuff that you've been writing, you know, because I'm interested in that as well. But this beginning, the start in life was tough for you at really a real young age. Yeah.
When I was 1 year old, I had just started walking, and I lived in the Bronx in New York City. And when I was 1 year old, I fell in the street. And a car was parallel parking and reversed over my legs and then pulled forward over my legs. Like this was at 1. Yeah. So, and then supposedly 3 or 4, I broke my hip. Nobody talks about how or whatever.
My goodness.
At 6, my father started showing me porn and asking what happened to my body when I saw that. And like, I didn't know like a man gets aroused or erect or whatever. I was like, I don't know, which made me think I'm inadequate. Something's wrong with me, you know.
Yeah.
So.
All this confusion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, of course, mum played a part in your life too. And it feels like that was, although I don't know the ins and outs of that, but it just feels like you really, and from one of your videos, I think it was the video Evil Eye, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's playing it out there.
Yeah, so Dylan, my
yeah,
son,
that's
played
it.
me as a little
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
and then my friend who actually looks like my mom when she was
Right.
young, played my mom, and I remember watching from the side, and it was like peering into time, like, and I cried again, like. I mean,
Yes.
these are deep ass things, like,
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not crying all the time, but like I'm
Yeah.
healing, and like my soul, man, it
Yeah.
needs to be fucking healed. And I've done so much healing. So
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. And you're still, yeah, absolutely. You are, and you're still there. And music feels like it played a part of your healing, because you started, as far as I understand, you got a real interest at 5 years of age. Is that right?
5, yeah. I asked my
Yeah.
uncle. I asked my uncle, "Who's that girl in that poster?" And he's like, "That's no girl. That's David Bowie." And
Oh, okay.
my life was never the same. It was a Ziggy
Yeah.
Stardust. But I remember like fighting to stay up to watch, music shows, and seeing like
Yeah.
whoever I could, Bowie or Cheap Trick or,
Yeah.
any of that stuff.
Was it the music you were into? Was it the music, or was it something like you were looking up to them? What elements of that drew you to
Of
that?
course, music is healing and magical, but I love the performance aspect. I love, they're like kind of like prophets, of music. And Bowie, I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
but performance and music, that's I'm into the art of it,
You're one hell of a performer. I've seen you.
Oh,
Incredible. You really do give it your all, don't you?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
why
No.
fuck around? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's absolutely fantastic. So I noticed also, I mean, we are going to come sort of like to the present stuff, but I'm really, really intrigued. I just found your journey really fascinating and something that I want to share with people, and how honest you are with yourself and in your music, and you're promoting that and giving that out to the world. And there is no shame in that, because lots of people do, particularly if you're going down the drugs and alcohol route, they do feel this, and hence this self-loathing aspect obviously came into it. And it feels like you are on that road now for self-forgiveness. One thing I'm looking at here is Beauty in Disguise, about beautiful people who are ugly on the inside. So it feels like you've experienced people, many different types of people.
I mean, that's where kind of, Beauty in Disguise is like almost like the next record, Breaking Bread with the Devil. That saying is means inviting the wrong people into your life.
Yes.
So, Beauty in Disguise. I mean, I live in LA. There's plenty of those.
Right.
I mean, Turbo Negro sang about it. City of Satan, it's called. One of their songs. I love them. They're one of my biggest influence.
Right.
Turbo Negro. But it's not pretty, and it's like I just went through some severe heartache and the fucking divorce, and it's about the queen of everything. So it's like it's a lot. Yeah,
there's a lot there. And then there's another one, Mirror Mirror on the Wall.
Yeah, that's off Back to Momo. Yeah.
Okay.
So that song's about like, okay, shit isn't going right in your life, like relationships, whatever. It's time to look in the mirror and be like, okay, what's wrong with me that this keeps showing up, or that I'm acting this way, or whatever. She's acting this way, whatever. Yeah.
Self-reflections.
Yeah.
Self-reflecting.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do, isn't it? It is hard to do. It's not easy.
I mean, look at all the guys, like I always say, like, if you do not deal with your pain, it will kill you. I mean, there's Lane, there's Scott Weiland, there's even Chris Cornell now. I mean, all these fucking people that we all love so much. And Andrew Wood, my biggest influence, Mother Love Bone. Like, if you do not confront your pain, it will kill you. It's really that simple. People, they rather mask it. They rather get loaded than confront yourself. I mean, plant medicine's all about confronting yourself,
That's where you are now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been on this road for a few years, but like after the ayahuasca, I got really, really lost in love, where it fucking destroyed me. But yeah, I'm back on the path,
Yeah, because am I right in reading somewhere you were also married before? You were married once before, is that right?
I've been married a few times, yeah, but
okay.
This, my first wife died from cancer, Tracy.
That's right. Yeah.
There's a song off Breaking Bread with the Devil called "Feel Me." I wrote about her, where remember my friend was like, "Come downstairs, I want to meet you." I'm like, "Okay," and then I left this girl in my bed, and then I'm walking back up into my apartment, and I hear this crying, and I'm like, that's Tracy crying. That was her name, my first wife. And I'm like, that can't be Tracy, she's dead. So I get to the door of my apartment, and the crying gets louder. So I think this girl is inside my apartment crying, right? So I open up the door, like classic, drop my keys, rush to open the door, fly it open. fling it open, and she's sound asleep, and the crying stops. So then a week later, I'm in that apartment, and I hear the crying again. And I say, Tracy, what is it? I go, if they're telling you to go, go. I will meet you there. And I know you forgive me, and I forgive you. And I never heard the crying again. I have goosebumps again. And then 65 Steps Away, which is on Breaking Bread with the Devil, is about Tracy, my first wife, and Bianca from Betty Blowtorch's, their distance between each other, their graves at Hollywood Forever. Yeah. And then in the video, I'm walking away with my son, because that's so symbolic, you know, it's so symbolic to me. You know, it's so simple to me. Someone told me, it was pretty funny. They were like, you're 6'4". It's not 65 steps away for me. I was like, oh, I never thought of that, but
Yeah, it's it's so deep, so just full of tragedy, and this is what I really feel. It's incredible, when you look at your life's purpose, or you think, what's your life's lesson here, if you want to go on a real deep level, and it almost feels like you were targeted from day one. When you talk about being that little baby on the floor with a car running over your legs, all the way up, loss, and constantly challenged with love, loss, devastation. But it's to the nth degree, isn't it? It's just all the way in terms of this traumatic feelings.
it's weird because are you familiar with DMT, like 5-MeO DMT?
No, don't think so.
It's a plant medicine, DMT. So
Okay.
I did a session in Malibu, and I saw, this was like a month ago, and I saw like the pain is over for me.
Yeah.
And they were like, spirit was like, this was the price I had to pay to make my dreams come true. And I remember thinking, fuck, was it worth it? Because god damn. But then I also think I must have had some bad karma in some past lives. I don't know what the fuck, but it's like.
Are you a believer of that? Because I think I am, actually, to be honest.
I've been shown things in the various plant medicines I've done. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Where I was lost for a couple, and this marriage that I was in, like I I went back. I was so distraught. I went back to like hard drugs, and in March of 2020, and October 2020 and March 2021, I overdosed smoking fentanyl, and I was brought back by my friend.
Okay.
And what just dawned on me recently was that, because I loved her. I loved Cara was her name, and she was my wife, and I loved her, and I tried so fucking hard to make it work,
Yeah.
And when we did ayahuasca together, I saw that like this wasn't our first rodeo together. Like we've been together in the past, So what I've put together, and I believe in my heart of hearts, was that I died over her twice in past lives, and I was shown that with these overdoses.
Yeah.
And in this time, it's not going to fucking kill me. This time, I'm going the distance, and some of that karma could be. Maybe I committed suicide in a past life, and I've thought about this where I hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. These are theories.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Actually, I've thought about that too, because it's almost like looking at the suffering you go through. You must have done something to cause it. Maybe it's kind of in the reverse in a way. So you caused suffering in a past life, something along these lines, perhaps.
Right.
Perhaps that makes sense. That definitely. Would you say you're a spiritual person then, Tony? It sounds like you are.
I mean, yeah, to the utmost degree.
Oh, I love that. That's
Are
great.
you familiar with Mother Love Bone at all?
I know. No,
Yeah, so,
Mother Love. Okay, I'm going to check them all out.
Mother Love Bone is the catalyst for Seattle, and then the singer died, and like they got Eddie Vedder and became Pearl Jam, who I'm not a fan of. But Mother Love Bone is the holy grail of rock and roll. Very, very spiritual. And Andrew, the singer, Andrew Wood, had a band with his brother Kevin called Malfunction throughout the formative grunge years in Seattle. In his last couple of years of life, he had Mother Love Bone, but Malfunction is accredited with like being the godfathers of the Seattle scene. Like, I mean, all the locals in Seattle had but he's my biggest influence. I learned everything I know to him.
Amazing.
It's very, very spiritual, Andrew Wood. And I sang in Malfunction with his brother a couple of years ago, doing the songs I learned how to sing to, which was really cool. And I got to do it in front of his mother. I remember we played in Seattle, and all the camps were there, like Soundgarden, Nirvana, all the camps. Yeah. And I remember Andy's mom was luminous. Her face was luminous in the crowd. And I remember I saw her, and I had to turn away because I got choked up.
Right.
But she had a face of astonishment because I was channeling, before I went on stage, I said, please God, don't let me make this about myself. Help me be a channel for his family, his friends, his mother, his fans, you know?
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. So,
Wow. Yeah.
Mother
Amazing.
Love Bone. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I will be Googling away this weekend. All this wonderful. So it's, getting back to, I guess, I'm just thinking trust, trust. Trust
Yeah.
must have been an issue in your life. Trust.
I mean, this was a big issue even in my marriage. I don't think
Yeah.
either one of us trusted each other. And then we had no
Yeah.
reason for
Yeah.
that. It was just,
Yeah.
trauma
Yeah.
and stuff. And I still love her. I believe in real love. Like, I think that, if it's real love, like, it's going to come back regardless of a piece of paper, regardless of circumstances, whatever, married, not married. Like,
Yeah.
she's the love of my fucking life. There's no doubt. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Did you say you were going through divorce now? Is that right?
it just got final last week. Yeah.
Okay. How are you feeling about that? Are you okay?
I mean, it's been very fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, I have to let her go. One thing I
Okay.
realized in plant medicines too was when you let go of someone or something,
Yeah.
it comes back to you anyway. But you don't have any fucking control.
No.
I have no control over anything. Me, I have control over my behavior, and sometimes I don't even have control over that because I'm fucking mechanical and like acting out from past traumas or experiences and stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel the stage is a good place to act out there your truest feelings though?
Yeah, I consider myself, I don't even consider myself a musician. I consider myself a performer, a songwriter, a lyricist, like a melody maker, like a visionary. Like Scott Weiland used to talk about it, like he's not a muso. He didn't play anything either. And I'd rather have that role where melodies, lyrics, the art, the vision, the performance, like that's my deal,
And that's your role then. That's your purpose. That's where you're at. And you're definitely moving forward with all of this. Tell me a little bit about because you have a website. I can see a couple of websites here. There's one, TonyWestSinger.com. That's yours?
Yeah, that's just something a fan did.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and then we have, of course, BLACKLISTUNION.com, which is being revamped. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, but you've written, I'm assuming you have written these blogs, Your Brain on Rock and Roll Music. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've also written tips for bringing your music to foreign markets. So, and what else have you got here? History. I can see Rolling Stone, a history of Rolling Stone magazine. Okay. So, are you still blogging? I mean, do you have time to do this? And what are your intentions around that?
I don't have time to do anything. Whatchamacallit? I have a fan. That's a fan ran thing.
Okay.
So I think maybe they take quotes from me, from
okay, right,
interviews and stuff. Yeah, I haven't looked at it in a long time. Yeah,
you should look at it because someone's really listening. It's great because it's they're listening to what you're saying and they're putting it in a way where it's really portraying you in such a great light. Where you're an inspiration to people, but you're also passing on a real positive message, and it feels like your message. For me, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to survive. You can survive this, and you've got through things, and that's what it feels. It feels like your entire life has been just a test, a whole test of survival and surviving love, loss, tragedy, trauma, all of these things, and you're still here, and now you're in a new phase. Tell me about the new single, the new album, because I know from our last conversation, I remember that this is kind of more the healing part where you're sitting now. Tell me more about the album now and how you're feeling about all of that.
Well, like I said, I wrote it after the ayahuasca journeys in Peru with the Indians and stuff. And I mean, there's a couple tracks on there that are like, Dirty Halo is one of my favorite. That's in tribute to a lot of friends that I've lost, including Todd Youth. Say, It says the youth's gone cold with a fatal blow. The second coming's a no-go. That's a chorus line. And the youth's gone cold with the fatal blow means he died. Todd Youth died. The second coming's a no-go is about us writing a second record together.
Right.
And there's so many good songs on there. I think too, like songs like Dirty Halo, The Queen of Everything.
Oh, I love that.
Dancing with the Angels is another one. And then we also recorded Mia, which is an Aerosmith song. But I think we've really found a niche because we kind of slowed things down with those, and it's kind of dark and moody. Mother Love Bone, Alice in Chains-ish, you know. But it has what I'm known for is the high octane, you know, in your face rock and roll, like GBH, you know, an influence like punk rock, you know.
It
like
really
Letters
is.
from the Psych Ward, the title track, Letters from the Psych Ward. I mean, it fucking rocks hard.
Yeah.
And another song called Out on a Jones, which is about me almost dying, you know, twice.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of good songs on this record. And
It
then I'm
sounds-
also putting 2 bonus tracks on there because D.H. Peligro from the Dead Kennedys, who was a good friend of mine, passed away. And we were in the studio recording, and we did a cover of Gates of Steel by Devo, and also Bowie Golden Years. So that's being put on Letters from the Psych Ward as bonus tracks.
Oh, wow. That's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Xander from the Circle Jerks plays bass on it. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's really, really good. So how many songs are actually on the album then?
So there's 10 originals.
Yeah.
And then there's the cover of Mia by Aerosmith. I did that for my daughter. Her name's Mia. She was named after the song.
Oh, lovely.
And of course the 2 bonus tracks. So there's going to be 13 songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
13. How do you feel about that number?
Oh, I love that number.
Good.
15 is done. Like 15. I remember I told Bianca, you know, when she was putting out her record, I'm like, you can't have 15 songs on your record. That's a death number. And then she had this song called I Wish You Die about her old like singer. And I was like, you can't put that out there in the world like that, you know? And she's like, whatever. But then she died. So.
Yeah. There's some truth in all of that.
Yeah.
There is some truth in all of that. There's superstitious stuff going on here, and with numbers and that. So,
you know, I don't know about superstitious. I think it's synchronicity.
Yeah, I believe in that. Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
it's synchronicity, and it's all around us if we pay attention. It's like fucking crazy, you know.
It is. Do you feel you're paying more attention to that now?
Oh yeah.
More than ever, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That means, do you feel you've evolved then spiritually?
Oh my God. So I always say too, like, there is no change. Like, you have to evolve. There's no changing anything. Like, you have to evolve.
Yeah. That's great. Tell me about this, because you've mentioned the medicine. You mentioned something before, this plant medicine, and I know you're into a more unhealthy life with drugs and alcohol. How many years were you into that road? How many years were you in that phase?
Of the drugs and alcohol?
Yeah.
I mean, years.
Like 20 years? More?
I mean, you know, I've been in and out of AA for a couple decades, but it's gotten, you know, they always say progress, not perfection. Like, I haven't shot drugs since the late 90s. I haven't done crystal meth since the late 90s, but like, I've always struggled with, I like to fucking tie one on drinking, you know, but drinking is so hard on the body. And then when I drink, I want to smoke cigarettes. I can't be smoking cigarettes either.
Right. Yeah.
And then weed was another one where I can't be smoking any weed anymore either. It's too strong. I remember being sober once and smoking weed. It was funny. My friend, I said, I can't believe I smoked weed. I hate this shit. Do you have any more? Like, that's exactly. So, you know, I have this addictive thing. But I think with the more spiritual journeys, healing that I do, the deeper I go, that shit's not even an issue at this point. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I've been doing psilocybin, microdosing,
Right.
then I'm doing the DMT journeys. I did a MDMA session with my therapist. I did Ibogaine in a clinic in Mexico, and then the ayahuasca, all of this stuff, and it's crazy how it all runs parallel. Like you get the same messages from each different medicine,
Interesting.
So, I mean, of course, people in AA, everybody has opinions about shit, you know what I mean? But this is my journey. This is my journey. Like,
It is. Yeah. Yeah. And there should be no judgment there. No one is perfect. Everyone's gone through something.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone through. But it feels like also, I'm looking at some of your titles again from previous, I think 2007 and 8. There's another one here, Liars, Cheaters, and Thieves.
Yeah, I love that song. That's what LA is filled with. And, I remember going to meetings and hearing people say, I'm nothing but a liar, cheater, and thief. Like, well, I've played that role too, I'm not proud to say, but yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing about being human is like, it's not always pretty being human. It's like,
No.
I got this fucking, like a business that, it's like we sell things on the phone. I don't want to be part of that world. Ever since I was a little boy, I wanted just to be an artist, make my living doing art, and that's finally coming to fruition. But I think a lot of people have to resort to things that they don't want to fucking do to survive,
Yeah. 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 And it sounds like, have you been in LA? No, you grew up. You didn't grow up in LA, did you? It was New York? Was it the Bronx?
New York City, yeah.
All right. And how long were you there for before you moved to LA?
So I was 19.
Okay. Right. Okay. So do you feel, I mean, I don't know, what was the environment like over there in comparison also to LA? Because I'm just looking at your environment.
I mean, New York City, I love New York City. It's changed so much though. But when I was growing up, it was amazing, and then LA, when I first moved here too, it was amazing too. And I can't do cold either, like New York with the cold winters and shit. Yeah. And slipping in ice and all that shit. Like, but LA for the last few months has been severely cold and raining and, but LA
Has it really?
Point. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I never think of it like that. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Your life is in LA now.
I mean, yeah, my son is going to be graduating high school next year. So I really would like to move somewhere else. But like LA is my home. So it's a hard call. I tried moving to Vegas. I didn't like that, Florida's not for me. I mean, I might go check out Nashville again, because people seem to be moving there. I was just in Austin, Texas. Like, it's very rural over there. Like, I don't know. I say I hate the city, but then I have to be in the city. It's just this weird thing, So, but, I want to just get the band happening and like my heart healed from this divorce relationship, and then figure it out.
So where are you now with your healing? I mean, it feels like you've made so much progress, and it feels like you've released the single, the album. Things are coming to a close. It feels like there are endings and beginnings.
Yeah. We're just starting with the record, so the first single's been released. The second one will be Letters from the Psych Ward.
Right. Okay. And are the other band members there as well with you in LA, or where are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Okay. That's cool. So, and I seem to remember also am I right in that you're learning to play the piano? Were you?
I'm always kind of learning to play the piano. Yeah. That's weird. I was doing my walk today and I was like, I need to buy a piano.
Okay. Yeah. So learning is kind of important just to keep things going, to keep evolving. So evolving not just spiritually, but also in your craft as well.
Yeah. I mean, I've played lots of piano when I was training my ear, to sing and stuff, but like, you know, you have to be a really good singer, I believe, and deliver. Like you have to be spiritually sound, emotionally sound. Like you got to have some sort of center, you know.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I think. I mean, there's plenty of people that have been severely fucked up that were great singers, but I think they were able to reel it in. Like I remember, you know, I was roommates with Mike Starr from Alice in Chains.
Okay.
And he told me once, he's like, dude, we were playing in front of 50,000 people one time, and Lane nodded off in the middle of singing, you know, and he said he went up to Lane, hit him in the shoulder with the headstock of his bass, and then like whispered in his ear, "Hey, dude, we're on stage in front of 50,000 people." And Lane was like, "I know," and then like just started singing right where he left off.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. That is so funny. That is hilarious. Am I right? Also, Leon Lewis. Did you live with him at some point? Is that right?
I mean, we trudged the streets of Hollywood together. Yeah.
He did tell me a little bit about that, and he told me some funny story about when things were really hard, and what you did to get some food, basically.
Oh, the roaching thing, yeah.
Yes.
We used to call up restaurants and be like, "We found a roach in the bag," and we'd get free food like all the time. Like I would not only need to eat for myself, but like all of my friends needed to eat too. So I like fed the city for years doing that. Yeah. That's
just too funny. Very naughty, but brilliant idea. I might remember that myself next time. Right. So yeah, okay, yeah. No, it sounds like you're making real great progress, and it feels like you're more settled in yourself. I mean, I know things aren't exactly where they want to be, but it feels like you're more settled. Do you feel more grounded? Yeah, I feel way more grounded. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I've done an immense amount of healing, and there's still toxic people around, you know, like, but like when I see red flags, like I dated this girl for like a few weeks, and like there was so many red flags. I was like, no, that's not going to work, you know. Plus, I still love my wife, my ex-wife. I still love her. Like, nobody's going to come along and make me feel how she made me feel. So. That's difficult. I'm very sorry that I've been through divorce myself, only once, and that's it, really. But yes, so I understand the difficulties. Even if it is the right thing to do, there's still a lot of heartache in that, isn't there? I never had to leave someone that I loved, that I was in love with. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Did you have kids together? No, we don't have kids together. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But I loved her family. I loved her mother. You know, her mom passed away. She was beautiful. And we had so many great, you know, fun experiences together. And, you know, I just hope she finds what she wants and some peace and stuff, you know. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about her, you know. I love her. I always will love her. She's the love of my life. There's no replacing her. I believe if she gets some healing too, that we'll be able to come together, you know. Yeah, it's sometimes about timing, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes about timing, about where you are in your own personal development. Because as a therapist, I deal with a lot of this, you know, and I deal with people who are bereaved. You know, I help people who are separated, getting divorced, and sometimes then it's just about the timing of being in the right space, doing the right thing where it can work together. So it's working individually and then together. Yeah. And if that's out of balance, or it's just it's about time, then it's very hard to make that work, and often it doesn't, which is and it takes two. You know, one person can't be doing everything. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's stuff that went on that was just, after a while, was fucking unacceptable to me. Like I have needs and wants, like, simple. I don't ask the world of anyone, but like, yeah, that's important. Yeah. It's important. And that's why relationships are, they're a responsibility as well, because you're depending on each other. You have to give that part of yourself to that other person. And that's why it's important to be ready, you know, for a relationship. And that's why I think people tend to be more ready later in life rather than earlier, because when you're younger, you're still sort of developing your own, well, you're trying to understand yourself, aren't you? You know, you're working on who am I, what do I need and want, and, you know, meeting your own needs and wants, let alone someone else doing that, you know. So it's, but yeah, it does feel like it's about timing. So yeah, that feels pretty sad that you're going through that. But you're on the flip side, and on the other side, particularly on the music, you've got that's happening, and that's really happening. That's fantastic.
We just did a couple of videos, and we did a video for the Queen of Everything and Letters from the Psych Ward.
Courage, faith, strength, and determination. Love is your greatest weapon of choice. Sweet angels, please give me my voice. Open up my ears. I paid the price through all the years from my sin. The queen of everything. She makes my heart shine and my soul sing. The queen of everything. The world's aligned, now I am her king. The queen of everything. Making love to an invisible lover is almost guaranteed not to make you suffer. Love in the eyes, such a pleasant surprise. Chipped away all the stone. Now try me on both sides. Queen of everything. She makes my heart shine and my soul sing. The queen of everything. The world's aligned, now I am her king. The queen of everything. The queen of everything. All you gotta do is breathe. All you gotta do is breathe. The queen of everything. She makes my heart shine and my soul sing. The queen of everything. She makes my heart shine and my soul sing. The queen of everything. The world's aligned, now I am the king. The queen of everything. The queen of everything. All you gotta do is breathe.
Right.
And I'm doing this juice cleanse too. Today's day 12 of this juice cleanse I'm doing, because I want to make sure if she sees me that I look better than I ever have in my fucking life, you know? So
Okay.
but I mean, not only that, but I need to feel good. I need to feel good about myself and love myself too. Like, because the pain of this marriage and relationship it almost killed me twice, you know?
I can imagine. And, you know, a lot of it does stem from early, like I mentioned before, this, if you had this experience of trauma in early childhood, then all that happens, because all relationships are formed from that platform. They're formed from how you related to your parents. And on that basis, it's how you form attachments and all of this sort of stuff, and how you see other people, how you receive other people, how you form bonds or how you don't, you know. And of course, if none of that was looked at or it was dealt with in other ways, that wouldn't have been repaired. But it's never too late to repair, is it? And I think that's one of your strong messages. I remember you saying it isn't too late.
And the plant medicines, especially ayahuasca, like you're able to heal and kind of rearrange some things where even the ibogaine, it's called iboga. It's African tribes medicine.
Okay.
But and then the DMT is very, very powerful medicine. DMT is like, it has to be the 5-MeO DMT.
Okay.
There's different kinds, but it has to be 5-M like mom, EO, 5-MeO DMT. And that's a very emotional, spiritual thing, because look, all these places I travel to and with these medicines, we already know these places, but we don't know that we know them, you know? Like, this,
yeah. It feels like this has really impacted your life in a huge way, and this has been a big turnaround for you.
Yeah.
Personally. And I can't wait to hear. I've heard the one beautiful song, and it feels, I absolutely love the song and the single, and it just feels very, I got the sense of calm. I felt calm listening to it, and grounded is how I felt. And I'm guessing that's how you were feeling at the time when you were creating it. The queen of everything.
Yeah, that's why, you know, this marriage was so devastating to lose. She was a fucking queen, and I was shown she's in a spiritual world that she's been my queen before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a beautiful song, and in honor of our love, and you know, my feelings about her. So
yeah. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing everything, Tony. It's
thank you.
Very kind of you, very brave of you, and you know, I wish you the very, very best of luck with everything. I can't wait to see the videos. Wow, I really can't wait. You do some awesome videos. So the video to this, I want to see, definitely.
It's going to be really, really both of them. Yeah, I flew to Houston to do them.
Yeah.
My manager used to be in the band Saliva.
Yes, I know. Yes, yeah.
So he was a drummer, and he plays drums in the video. And I'd like to get him in the band if he still wants to tour, but I don't think he wants to tour anymore. So
we'll put the message out.
He's one of my favorite people, and he's like, you know, I have a couple people in my life where, you know, my manager, people that work for me, assistants and stuff. Like I trust these people, and that's a big deal, you know, for me. Yes. I mean, and I love them. Like if you're in my life and I trust you, I love you, and I'm loyal to you forever. You know, that includes Leon's another one. Like, he's my good friend. And
yeah. That is what I was picking up. And of course, you know, it's all about having that experience, you know, and if you haven't had that experience and you know there's been a lack of love and a lack of trust, how are you even going to know how that works with people? How are you going to get there? And it feels like you are getting there, slowly getting there. And it does take time. You know, there's been a lot to work through, but well done for working through it and for persevering, and keep doing what you do. Great. You know, keep doing it. It's amazing. So
thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, and keep in touch.
Okay.
Read about it in magazines, the news headlines.